well. Why Lincoln Park? After his aortic dissection in 2021, Larry and I had a chat about death and what his wishes were. Most of you know Larry, so you won't be surprised to hear he first suggested a hefty bag. I expressed that may result in some jail time for us, so we needed another option. So when he paused and actually gave it a thought, it came to him quickly. Spread my ashes in Lincoln Park in a few of my favorite spots. The 5th Street Bridge. As a kid, I remember crawling down the rock walls and jumping into the narrow channel of water. And while I never saw my dad jump there, I know the bridge had nostalgic meaning for him too, as I believe he held his first sales job there. I'm sure many of you present today were customers or perhaps visited him while at work. Turtle Slide. When Dad lived on Goat Hill, we would walk to the park often, and even when he lived with Grandpa Babe on 4th Street, we would take the city bus here, as I was obsessed with Turtle Slide. Dad would sit up on the little rock wall, watch me for hours as I slid down. If he was in shorts, I would beg him to take just one slide down, and after some prodding, he always would. An early sign for me that my dad would remain a kid at heart. It's so difficult to summarize someone's life and all that they meant to you in a few short paragraphs. How do you convey their immeasurable impact on your life, who you are as a person, how much you owe to them for your life's successes, or how you will never, ever be the same now that their loss has created a hole in the world? It's really hard, so I'll just share some memories and life lessons from Larry, our dad, and one of my very best friends. I think because he struggled financially when he was young, us having the ability to provide for ourselves became a key driver. And that manifested in Dad prioritizing knowledge and education. Our encyclopedias. Larry bought the family a set of encyclopedias when I was very young. It was a huge set, black and brown books with gold lettering, gold-edged pages, vibrant pictures of places and people and animals and everything. I'll admit they were pretty cool, but Mom, oh, Patty was hot. She said, Larry, we can barely afford food, and you're buying encyclopedias? An early sign that Larry believed knowledge will feed you, and that theme would continue throughout our lives. I moved in with Dad at age 14, and for encouragement in high school and college, he would pay me for grades. I remember one report card with all A's and one B. While he paid up, he did inquire, what was the B about? He knew I wouldn't qualify for much, if any, financial aid, and he wasn't keen on me taking out student loans for college, so he pushed me to research and apply for scholarships. I was lucky enough to get nearly a full ride, and due to that, Dad paid for books, parking, and gave me my own apartment in his duplex on 59th Avenue West. Many of you remember it. Also letting my two friends, Joey and Bart, live with me. One thing about Larry, he truly let us all be ourselves, and that apartment was a safe space for many of my friends growing up. Being present and making memories. No matter how difficult logistics were, Dad was always in our lives. I remember taking the Greyhound bus from Virginia to Duluth to spend weekends or school breaks with Dad. He would always attend our birthday parties, even if that meant hitchhiking up to the Iron Range and back to Duluth to celebrate our day. He made sure to make as many memories as possible in his time with us, whether that was simply visiting friends. We would often go hang out with his best friend Karen and her girls, or going all out with a trip to Arizona and California to see family and go to Disneyland. Many of my favorite trips were bike rallies, motorcycle rallies, and camping trips with Neil Davis, Karen, and friends. Dad and Neil took me to Little Sturgis, Kentucky. I think it was 1996. I was about 19 years old. We stayed with one of their friends on their property, and I recall the guys worked testing explosives for the government. So we got to blow up a car, we got to blow up, I believe, a refrigerator. Seriously, we literally had an absolute blast together. But we would also do our own thing. One evening at the rally, I took Dad aside and I said, hey Dad, I think I'm gonna go get a tattoo. He looked at me and replied and said, okay, I'm gonna go to pudding wrestling. He was always present for the important stuff and even the not so important stuff. Not only would he attend my track and field events, he would bring me to the high school track to practice and would watch me run laps. I ran long distance. He didn't care how long we were there. He'd say, get your mileage in, and he would encourage me every time I ran by him on the track. He would come watch my dance line performances, you know, the girls who dance at halftime. Admittedly, one of my favorite sports because it allowed him to watch a football game. And while my boxing career was dismal, he really enjoyed watching my bouts and told me in those moments I was the son he never had. Music. We went to many concerts together, and my strong love of classic rock comes from all my parents. Dad took me and a girlfriend to a Warrant Trickster Firehouse concert when I was 15. I'm not sure if 15-year-olds should be at the She's My Cherry Pie tour, but I asked, and Dad obliged. He once missed a Vikings football game to go to a Melissa Etheridge concert with me. He always said she reminded him of Janis Joplin. He was delighted when the drummer had Melissa give the football score at halftime. I guess her drummer was a big football fan. So he took me to Joe Cocker, Willie Nelson, and my favorite was Leonard Skinner. Brenda, where are you? Brenda, Dad, and I took the Rampage, his fifth wheel, on its maiden voyage to Laughlin, Nevada for the River Run to see Leonard Skinner. I have never seen my dad enjoy a concert so much. He was belting out Freebird at the top of his lungs, and I see 2 Freebird shirts here today, so fitting. And lastly, things he loved, TV. He literally had a backup TV at all times because his TV played 24 hours a day. Vikings football on his last day. I inquired twice, but Dad, what if this is the Vikings year? He laughed both times. Jeopardy! He watched it every day without fail. If you're ever in Arizona, it's on at 7:30 p.m. Golf, any golf all day. A balanced checkbook. He even requested I bring it to the hospital, and then he had Jennifer balance it. She's better at math. Pay your bills, minimize your taxes, and try not to pay interest at all costs. The sweets, chocolate milkshakes, sweet iced tea, black coffee with 4 sugars. Stuffed animals. Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy was a favorite. Christmas and unwrapping presents. Happy Meal toys. I'm not kidding when I say Happy Meal toys. He would steal mine and use them as knickknacks in his house. Being spoiled and being loved. He loved his family, those who passed before him, his mom Alice, his dad Babe, his brother Danny, his best friend Mike, and family he leaves behind, his sisters Sandy and Julie, my mom, the entire Weta clan. He loved his friends and family, all of you here today, and of course, above all, he loved us, his girls.